I don't understand what viral is. I'm not here for social media or to make that person look good, on Instagram. My business is to make sure that that company makes money.
Ever wondered what it is to make a brand that's truly unforgettable? Hi, I'm Radhika Bhatia, founder Rad Digital, a digital marketing agency, and welcome to the very first episode of my podcast, Rad Talk. I'm thrilled to kick it off with none other than the marketing genius and branding guru, Mr. Suhel Seth, a man who has spent decades redefining the art of storytelling. He is the managing partner and CEO of Counsel Age India. In addition, a columnist for the Hindustan Times, Financial Times, an author to best-selling books like Get to the Top, The Gift of Conversation, A Mirror Ourselves, and 3 top CEO success mantras. Also, an actor where we saw him in the multi-starrer ZNMP. So, it's an absolute honor to first have met you during a college competition which you had judged and to be awarded by you back then, and now years later to be able to do a podcast with you. So, what sparked your passion for marketing and advertising, and where did you start your journey?
So it began in Calcutta, and I was a literature student, and I've always been fascinated by William Shakespeare and his consumer insights, his insights into, human behavior. And I don't have any formal marketing degree. I'm not an MBA, not as educated as you guys, but I always had a passion for understanding what makes consumers tick. So I began my career under a legendary figure called Ram Ray, who was the founder of Response. And from there I moved to Gilby, then I went to ITC for a marketing role, then joined an investment bank called Peregrine. Then my brother Swapan and I started Equus, in which Martin Sorrell, who then owned WPP, took a stake. And then in 2006 I started Counsel Age, which was purely branding and marketing consulting.
So, you've worked with top brands like Tata, CocaCola. So, what is that one approach that you always had in mind while crafting a marketing strategy for, their product launch or a new brand launch?
Divine discontent and the fact that I know nothing. Okay. You have to go on the premise that you know nothing and that you're willing to learn, you're willing to understand consumer behavior, you're willing to check all your notions, all your fears, all your beliefs at the slate of human understanding. And a lot of people ask me, oh, but you're very experienced, you can do this. No. Every project which is marketing driven is unique because every brand is unique. Correct. Every consumer engagement is unique. The way consumers look at brands is also ever changing. Correct. 20 years ago, we hadn't even thought of social media. Today, traditional media is dead. Yeah. So you've got to constantly engage, and you've almost got to be predictive in your approach. You can't say, oh, I know everything and, it's easy peasy. And that's how I've learned. And, people ask me that, oh, now you know everything. No one knows anything. And no one will know everything in life.
Learning always continues.
It's not about that. It's not about learning. The quest for knowledge must be unending. The day you think you know everything, you'll be dead. The day you believe you have all the answers to every problem, you'll be dead. So my approach is to understand the category, to understand consumer behavior, and then to make sure that the brand that I'm working on has the maximum traction with that consumer.
Perfect. So in 2025, would you feel that, for a small business or an MSME to build themselves into a brand, what's the right approach?
Again, it depends on the category. It depends on who they want to target. It depends on how much money they have. It depends on what they ultimately want to achieve. These are generic terms. Oh, how would an MSME build a brand? I don't know. Because I got to know, is he in steel? Is he going to be in consumer durables? Is it going to be FMCG? Within FMCG, perishables, non-perishables? Is it going to be in dairy? So it's an endless ocean. To then determine, wait, no, we will do it this way, to my mind is silly. Many a seminar people ask me, oh, if it was a startup, how would you do it? I don't know. I need to understand who the entrepreneur is. I need to understand what his or her vision is and what his or her business objectives are. Brands are married to the ultimate business objectives of that company or that brand.
Okay. So, what would you feel, is the correct way to, target for a brand that's wanting to be present pan-India? Like,
First, you need a lot of money.
yeah.
Number two, you'll need to be relevant. It's easy to say, oh, I want to capture India. Even NarendraModi hasn't been able to capture India. It's not that BJP rules across India. The Congress has never ruled across India. Even the Mughals didn't rule across India. So what you have to determine is, if I'm given a particular brand, I have to understand the propensity for people to buy should be high where.
Yeah.
Let's take an instance. Many, many years ago, Tata Tea wanted to launch a spices brand. And I went around the country and I then discovered that there were brands like Ashok and Vinav, which were very strong local brands.
Correct.
So no matter what we did, even with the Tata name, we would never be able to penetrate. And we withdrew from the spices market.
Yeah.
We also had to understand that red chili powder, because of the tropical conditions of India, used to seep through the BOPP. So red chili powder and turmeric would seep. The other interesting thing was that the housewife or the homemaker would always want khada masala over, ready to use masalas.
Yes.
So we had to factor that in. Another learning which I got from masalas, which I transferred to sundrop oil. The first advertisement for sundrop oil said, "Maa ke haath se behtar." Now that was insulting the homemaker. So we had to reject and say, no, it enables the mother to serve you the best. So you became an enabler rather than a replacement. And that was an important learning.
So as an agency founder, brands, entrepreneurs come like, please make my brand go viral. So what's your take on that?
I don't, because I don't understand what viral is. I'm not here for social media or to make that person look good, on Instagram. My business is to make sure that that company makes money.
Correct.
It makes money ethically. It makes money through a relationship, and that the brand sells. My business is not to make you look good or him look good or someone else look good. That's not my business. That's for social media companies to handle. I have to make sure that the brand promise, let's say Radhika Bhatia launches a brand of shampoo. I have to make sure that that brand of shampoo sells and it continues to sell.
Correct.
And it continues to build a relationship between the consumer and Radhika Bhatia's shampoo brand.
So a common debate, organic versus paid marketing.
I'm a great believer paid marketing is useless. It does nothing. I'm also a great believer that brand endorsement is rubbish. In the good old days, SachinTendulkar used to endorse 11 categories. And I also asked people, I said, which tire does he? So it depends which market. If you were in the West and in the East, people would say, oh, he's advertising for Apollo, but he was actually the MRF brand ambassador. So it's not easy.
Yes.
And there's no one size fits all as a solution, because I think paid marketing, eventually consumers know that it's paid
Yes.
because of the angularity of the communication.
So would you feel that AI, will it have a positive or a negative impact on our industry, and will it actually replace humans?
AI will never replace human beings. My other concern, which I jokingly talk about, is you can have artificial intelligence, but what do you do with native stupidity? So it's as good as the people who use artificial intelligence. B, I think AI will do some things very well and not do a few things very well. What will it do well? It will give you predictive, generative data on consumer behavior. It will tell you how markets are actually shaping up. It'll give you reams of information. But to distill that information, to use AI in order to promote the brand, has to be human endeavor. It has to be human intelligence. Because the human being knows exactly where AI will stop and where human intelligence will take over.
So what's your all-time favorite marketing book that you has also influenced you a lot?
William Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, William Shakespeare's Macbeth, Othello. See, the thing is, we all are stuck in a cocoon of comfort. A marketing book tells you nothing, by and large. But all these institutions, oh, this marketing book, that marketing book. The Gita tells you more about our Shastras and our Sanskriti than any other book.
True.
But we classify it as a religious text, so we don't see. What does Krishna tell Arjun when Arjun is riding the chariot? He says, that the body will go through series of developments and then die. The soul is unending. That's an important insight. Also, what is important is what our Shastras tell us, what our culture tells us, what our history tells us. So I don't think reading traditional marketing books is the way forward. What is important is to keep your ears open and your mouth shut. There's a reason why God has given you 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Absolutely.
And we don't listen, we don't observe, we don't see the changes around us.
So with such a multifaceted career, how do you balance work, creativity and your personal life?
I love it. I sleep 8 hours a day, I read 1 book a day, I watch plays, I travel. I enjoy it. This whole thing about, will you work hard? The only people who work hard are mules. Human beings are supposed to work smart.
Correct.
So if anyone tells me I work 18 hours a day, I don't get impressed at all. Because that shows that person is unidimensional, totally devoted to his work and therefore has no other interests. If you don't have any other interests, you'll be a grey cloud. You won't be a rainbow.
What advice would you give to, agency owners who are, trying to differentiate themselves in this, over cluttered space that digital marketing or marketing is getting?
So the first thing is don't try and differentiate, be different. The problem is we try all the wrong things. Always have a compelling argument as to why people should trust you. Number 3, remember that you are an enabler. You're not a slave. We, and especially agencies today, are competing for every cent that they can garner.
Yeah.
And therefore, they are sacrificing their credibility, their ethics, their values, and more importantly, their genuine advice. They want to tell the clients what clients want to hear. If that is the case, why the hell would clients hire you?
So there's a famous line from Mad Men, the day you sign a client is the day that you lose them. So, how do agencies strike a balance between creativity and long-term partnership?
There's no such thing. There's no long-term partnership in marriage. So why the hell would you have long-term partnerships with clients? The problem is we become emotional about clients. You have to be logical about clients. If clients come to you, they also have the freedom to leave you. You must respect that choice. You must never bitch that client out later. मैंने इनका brand बनाया था, see what they've done to me. Doesn't matter. Live the moment, enjoy that experience, and always wish someone well. Whether that person leaves your company, leaves your agency, or is a client and therefore decides to part ways.
So do you think the advertising industry, we are all ready for an Indian version of Mad Men and a show that could, showcase the life of marketers, the challenges and the creative brilliance of Indian advertising?
I don't know. I mean, it's not my area of expertise. You should ask that question to whoever's heading Netflix. I'm sure we have so many great examples of Indian advertising. Go back, see what Amul did, see what Piyush Pandey did with Asian Paints, what we did with Cadbury's, Kuch Meetha Ho Jaye. The insight was people were giving Diwali sweets which had perishable, tenures. And you just changed everything and said Kuch Meetha Ho Jaye, which means you were taking the examples of that particular festival and layering it onto Cadbury's. Look at Asian Paints. Har ghar kuch kehta hai. No one buys a brand. You don't buy Colgate. You buy the whitest teeth. The problem is we do not distinguish between brand and benefit. The consumer is interested in the benefit, not the brand. The reason why he or she buys the brand is because he or she believes that that brand is the best deliverer of the values that consumer seeks from the benefits.
Correct. So any last piece of advice or takeaway to marketers or fellow brand owners in 2025? Any particular trend you would like to highlight?
Read till you die. Don't be emotional about your clients. Love pets because they give you unconditional love. And enjoy your life. Travel. See the world. Talk to people. Don't hear, listen. Don't have sight, have vision. And to my mind, if you were able to do that, then the world is your oyster.
Perfect. Thank you so much, sir. It's an absolute pleasure.